perfect solution for you. Now, I really hate to talk about this subject because I have experienced all of these pests. I've experienced rats living in New York City. I have experienced mice living in Minnesota, spiders living in Michigan, roaches, well, that takes me back to New York City, yes it does, and ants. Ants in Colorado. It doesn't matter where you live in the United States, you probably have a few unwelcome visitors in your home, but Bell & Howell is here to save the day, whether it's your home, whether it's your garage, whether it's the bedrooms or the kitchen. We are giving you an 8-pack of the Bell & Howell Ultrasonic Pest Repeller packs for just $36.95. And Lou Caputo is here to tell you how to get rid of these critters. And you're gonna do it in the most, I would say, savory way possible.
The kindest, the gentlest way.
Yes, there we go.
The most humane way.
We love all of God's creatures.
Absolutely.
I just don't want to find their carcasses around the house.
No, or anything else that they want to leave around my house, okay? These Bell & Howell pest repellers are ultrasonic, meaning they use sound waves to get rid of the pests. Now, Bell & Howell's been around for well over 110 years. And from back in the day when they made film projectors, a big key component of those were sound. So these are essentially tiny little speakers that put out those ultrasonic sound waves at a frequency higher than we can hear. You won't hear it, your kids won't hear it, your dogs and cats certainly won't hear it, but these guys, they hear it. And I'm talking about the rats, the mice, the ants, the roaches, the spiders. And the cool thing about these, Sarah, is the minute you plug them in, they just start working. The second they get plugged in, and there's nothing else you have to do as long as you have these plugged in your house.
I don't have to refill the bait.
No, you do
I don't
not.
have to set a trap.
Nothing.
I don't have to see if they're in there.
Nope, nothing you gotta do.
I don't have to dispose of the bodies. Though I did once capture a mouse in a very humane way. It said to release it at least 3 miles from your home. So what do you think I did? Animal lover that I am, I actually put it in my car and off we drove.
Took him for a ride.
To the nearest little forest, and there he went off on his merry way.
Scurried off, and then, but you know what happens in that case? One of his little buddies comes back and then takes his place. That's the thing.
How do I know he didn't have babies?
Exactly. Well, and the nice thing about these is, okay, so you're getting a set of 8 right now, okay? And the set of 8 of these is enough to do 1 floor of the average size house. And by that I mean, you know, if I'm including the attic, the basement, and the garage, and then all the rooms that you live in, you want to have one in every single room. Because when you plug them in, this little speaker right here is going to start emitting that ultrasonic sound wave. Now, we don't know what that sounds like, okay? We think that to the rats and the mice, it could sound like a siren or fingernails on a chalkboard or something very annoying. We know that it makes them want to leave, okay? Those sound waves are going to echo off of any solid surface in the room. So I'm talking about walls, doors, furniture. Don't put them behind the furniture because you want that sound to go as far as it can. But watch what happens. It annoys them over a little period of time, and then they want to leave the premises, and it keeps them out. And that's the big deal, is that it repels them. Because for a lot of us, for years, we've been using other things. And real quick, I'm going to show you a couple solutions that everyone, I know, everyone has tried these over the years, okay? For instance, if you have got ants in your home, you're probably gonna run out to the store and you're gonna handle this yourself, right? And you're gonna go out and spend a lot of money on all kinds of stuff for ants, but we've all done this. And we know that over time, this stuff is gonna wear off and the ants are gonna come back. And then when you run out of this, you're gonna look under the sink where everybody keeps it, and you're gonna go, I don't have any, so now you're gonna spend more money. But if you have a roach problem, you can't use the ant stuff on roaches. Gotta go buy the roach stuff. So you buy the roach stuff, more money. Same thing happens, wears off, they come back, you run out of it, you buy more. It's a vicious cycle. Now, when you get into the rats and the mice, we make it personal with them. We go out there.
We don't mess around.
We don't mess around with them. Well, and there's a lot of work. If you've ever tried to get rid of a rat or mouse from your house, there is a lot of work involved because there's all kinds of traps. Like here's a sticky trap, which is just disgusting.
All too familiar with those.
Yeah, and it's really cruel because when the animal gets on there, they don't just, there's nothing on this that kills the rat other than the fact that they can't eat or drink anything. So that's how they go, and that's not pleasant at all. We got these poisons, these little green things down here are poisons. Not safe for you, not safe for your kids, for your pets, and it's very cruel for the animals. Plus, when they die, they go into your ceiling and floors and die there. So you've got a smell, you know, did you know that? You have a smell that lasts forever. And then of course we got the trap that I'm holding here in my fingers, that this guy, when you hear one of these go off in the middle of the night, there's a carcass that's got to be disposed of. Who wants to volunteer for that job? Plus, you got to bait these again, okay? With the Bell & Howell Pest Repellers, we're going to take care of the rats, the mice, the ants, the roaches, and one thing that's not here, spiders. I got nothing on this table for spiders, you know, because there's nothing you can really do for spiders. These will repel them. So think about that, the 5 most common things. Now, do you know why I only say these 5 things?
Why?
Why? Because we've done testing, and it's very expensive. Bell and Howell did testing. It's really expensive. So they picked the 5 most common species that people have problems with. So we can tell you definitively that a third-party lab has tested these, and we know that they were effective repelling rats, mice, ants, roaches, and spiders from the localized area in which these are working. So what that means is you can't put 1 for the whole house. You need 1 in every room.
Okay, and
yes.
So how big of a house do you think this would cover? This is a total of 8.
Right.
You want 1 in every room.
1 in every room of the house. I mean, I always tell people, listen, walk around your house, count the rooms. Don't leave out the bathrooms. Don't leave out your laundry room. Put 1 in every single room in your home. So if you've got a 1-story home, that's probably going to be good for you, you know, especially here in Florida where we don't even have a basement. You know what I mean? So you're talking attic and garage. So I think you're good. If you have a multi-story home, I recommend buying more than 1 set. Now, here's the other thing, too. Remember that if you have other Bell & Howell pest repellers that you've bought in the past, you can work these into that set too. You can use these in conjunction with those. It's all the same technology.
Do they ever stop emitting the noise? Do they ever die or fade away?
Okay, so look at the one that's in front of me right here, because the one that's right there, you're gonna see this one's plugged in, and there's a little LED down here. See that little red LED? And every time that flashes, that means that this is emitting that ultrasonic sound wave, okay? So as long as you're seeing that red LED, that's working, okay? With the day that that stops, then it might be time to consider it. But I'll tell you this, I've had a set, and this is like the most common question I get asked by people, how long do they work? I've got a set that's been going on 7 years right now. Wow. That I've got in my house. Yeah, and they just sit there and they do their thing. They work, you know, and guess what? I don't have any pests in my home. I stopped paying the nice man $45 a month to walk around my house and spray barrier, what they call barrier protection, poison around my house. I'm not doing that. I mean, for me, they work.
Fantastic. And you know what? It's working for so many of you. I've got some great rave reviews I want to read. Here's one from Jem in Texas. I have had a rat and mice problem, but no more. I haven't seen one since I've plugged these in. Don't hesitate. Buy them. Here's one from Terry in Kentucky. These really work. We'll buy more in the future if I need them. Long lasting. Here's one from Illinois. Works wonderful. Pennsylvania. If you haven't tried these, please do. Really work. Here's one from Illinois. I've used these for 11 years with success. And here's Mish in Tennessee says, just buy them and stick them everywhere. These are awesome for practical and decorative lighting. Love these because it is, and it couldn't be any easier because all we do is plug them in and we're done.
Any outlet, plug them in, you're done. That's all you have to do. And you know what? You might sit there and go like, how do I know they're working? You're gonna know they're working because you're gonna notice that the pests aren't there anymore. You're not gonna hear the little sounds in the walls or on your ceilings, you know? You're not gonna see little droppings in places. You're not gonna in the middle of the night get up and walk to go get a glass of water, hear something crunch under your foot. None of that is going to happen. I know, it's disgusting, right? You wanna hear a really gross story?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's tell gross
She's like,
stories at lunch.
Okay, so here's a gross story. German cockroaches are one of the most common problems people have, okay?
Okay.
And we think that if we kill them, that we're done. The infestation will be over, okay? Here's the fact about German cockroaches. The female cockroaches bear their eggs in sacks on their legs, so they carry them in sacks on their legs. If you try to kill one of these guys here, a German cockroach, if you try to kill it, right, a female who's bearing eggs, before she dies, she jettisons the egg sacs. All right, she drops them.
No.
The eggs will hatch anyway. So now you've killed the mother, but guess what? All her offspring, they're still gonna be there. So you really didn't end the infestation. With the Bell & Howell pest repellers, what we do is we don't kill anything. We tell the mom, go somewhere else and have your litter. You know, go somewhere else and have your offspring. And that's what happens. And that's why I think these are superior to any other method. There's no poisons, there's no traps, there's nothing you have to do, which I love, because I'm lazy, so I don't have to do anything. But it doesn't ever let it get to the point where you have that infestation. A lot of people wait until it's too late. Like when you start seeing an ant, there's probably 1,000. If you see a roach, there's probably a few hundred, okay? That's the problem. So when you reach for that spray, you might be killing one, but you're not taking care of the overall problem. The Bell & Howell pest repellers, they take care of, they're proactive. Everything else is reactive. And this is what we're talking about. Ants, roaches, mice, spiders. I mean, everything that you're seeing right here, we're gonna take care of. And the one thing that, you know, I mentioned earlier, spiders. Spiders are a huge problem for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, but there's no way to get rid of them. I asked an exterminator once, I said, how do you get rid of spiders? And he said, well, you got two choices. You can roll up a newspaper, okay, not appealing, or you can have your house tented. That's how difficult spiders are to get rid of. Wow. The Bell & Howell Pest Repellers will get rid of the spiders. And venomous spiders and non-venomous alike. Some folks just don't like spiders. These are gonna take care of that.
And what's so great is that this is the time of year I'm thinking, you know, you might be closing up the summer cottage, the summer cabin, the summer condo, maybe it's your little beach getaway or your lakeside resort.
Sure.
Would this be something to have running even when you're not
all year
there?
round? Well, okay, so the best deterrent for pests is us, human beings. So when you're not there, you know, if you don't have another way of keeping them out, they're gonna be having a kegger at your house. They're gonna have a big party at your house, okay?
They're
so
like,
you
party at the lakeside
exactly.
cottage.
So you wanna have the pest repellers there. And we hear from people that are landlords that have these in their rental units. We hear from folks that have vacation properties that they keep them in, barns, sheds that have power, boats even, RVs. I mean, you can use these anywhere where there's power, and that's the neat thing about them is there's no special requirements. As long as there's power and you plug these in, they're gonna work within that confined area.
You don't have to turn them on.
No.
You don't have to turn them off. You don't have to check on them.
No.
You don't have to see, did they eat the bait? Is the trap full? So if you have any type of property that you like to live pest-free, this is such a great solution for you. I mean, we've had these pest repellers on how many years now?
I mean, I
HSN,
personally have been selling them. I've been selling them myself, these for Bell & Howell for about 7 or 8 years. Prior to that, though, when I was a host 30 years ago, we had pest repellers back then too that used a similar technology, not the same as exact Bell & Howell, but close.
Because I was just thinking, you know, my parents have a summer cottage on a lake, and the last thing they want to do is come all excited for the summer, right? Yeah. Opening up the summer cottage for the very first time, and what's the first thing they have to do is get rid of all the pests.
Oh yeah, and I'll tell you something, we have a weekend place that we go to, and when we first got it, that's what happened. I opened up the doors and it was like a party was going on in there. I mean, it's just all kinds of things. I installed my Bell & Howell Pest Repellers, and now when I go, I don't worry about it. There's nothing there. Here's an interesting thing too. So there's a laundry room that's in the middle of our little property, okay? So I put pest repellers in every single room except the laundry room just because I overlooked it. We went in there one time and Kelly goes, you know, I don't think these are working. And I'm like, well, God forbid, what are you talking about? There were spiders in the laundry room. And then I looked and I realized I never put one in there. I forgot. I've installed one. We have not had a single problem since. And this is going back to March, okay? Not a single problem.
And again, tell us about the technology, because if you're brand new and just tuning in and you're thinking, wait, you plug something in the wall and these little things just walk right out the front door, give me a break.
I mean, if you've ever gone to, like, you know, a restaurant or, you know, any place where they're playing music and it's really, really loud and it's really, really bad, chances are you're not gonna stay there for very long. You're gonna get up and you're gonna walk out, right? These work on the same principle. We emit a sound in the ultrasonic frequency range, which is higher than you or your pets can hear. And it is annoying to these pests, to the rats, the mice, the ants, the roaches, and the spiders, to the point where it is almost debilitating for them. It's such a bad sound for them, they just have to get away from it, you know? And that's why once in a while you hear somebody say like, well, I had these plugged in, but then I saw a pest. I mean, he was gone, you know, a little bit later, but I did see a pest. They might wander in, but they're gonna leave because they don't like that sound. So the bottom line is they're not gonna set up shop in your house.
And that's all we want them to do. We just want them to go somewhere else. We don't want them to die. We love all of God's creatures. We just want them to go to someone else's house. Exactly. Hopefully far, far away. You're getting a set of 8. Remember to put one in every room if you really want to get great results from Bell & Howell. Everywhere indoors, right? Like a garage?
Everywhere indoors. Yeah, okay. Any space that you have, and if it's a weird shaped room, maybe try 2 in there. If like it's an L-shaped room, maybe put one at each end of that L-shaped room, but one in every room for sure.
So you might need 2 sets, but wherever you go, make sure the pests don't follow you.